Most people think replaying conversations is overthinking, that you're dramatic, that you should just let it go. But psychology doesn't see it that way, because if this was just overthinking, your brain wouldn't replay the same moments again and again, what you said, what you didn't say. Psychology says when the brain repeats something, it's not stuck. It's scanning for meaning, scanning for safety, scanning for what mattered more than it looked like in the moment. Some people walk away from conversations and feel relief. Others walk away and feel the need to review everything. Not because they're weak, not because they're insecure, but because at some point, words had consequences they couldn't afford to miss. And once your nervous system learns that, it doesn't forget. 1. Your brain struggles with unresolved social moments. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. The mind naturally fixates on unfinished experiences, not because you enjoy it, not because you're stuck in the past, but because unfinished moments feel unsafe. If a conversation ends without clarity, without reassurance, without emotional closure, your brain keeps returning to it, not to torture you, but to complete it. That's why you replay tone, pauses, facial expressions, the exact wording. Your brain isn't obsessed, it's searching for resolution. 2. You learned early that words change outcomes. Research in social psychology shows that when emotional safety depends on communication, the brain becomes highly sensitive to language. At some point, something you said changed how someone treated you. Maybe they pulled away. Maybe they got cold. Maybe they misunderstood you. So your nervous system learned words have consequences. Now, after conversations, your mind asks, did I say too much? Did I say too little? Did I phrase that wrong? Not because you hate yourself, but because your brain is trying to prevent future harm. Replay is protection. 3. You replay conversations because you're checking how you were perceived. Psychology shows that people with high self-monitoring tendencies don't just remember what happened, they evaluate how they came across. Did I seem respectful? Did I seem awkward? Did I seem annoying? Did I seem distant? You're not editing the conversation. You're editing your self-image, because at some point being misunderstood felt dangerous. So now your brain double-checks, not the facts, the impression. 4. Your mind craves predictability more than comfort. When relationships once felt inconsistent, the brain stops prioritizing closeness. It prioritizes certainty. Predictability feels safer than warmth. So your brain replays conversations looking for patterns. What does this person usually do? How did they react last time? What might happen next? Replay isn't attachment. It's pattern mapping. Your mind is trying to reduce uncertainty. 5. Some brains experience ambiguity as mental noise. Psychology shows that people with high cognitive sensitivity struggle with unclear information. Vague interactions feel unfinished. Unfinished things pull attention. So if a conversation felt confusing, your brain keeps touching it. Not because you want answers, but because your mind dislikes open loops. 6. Your brain is preparing for the future, not reliving the past. Memory isn't just storage, it's simulation. Your brain uses past conversations to rehearse future ones. What would I say differently next time? How would I respond if this happens again? Replay is rehearsal. Your mind isn't stuck, it's training. If this video felt uncomfortably accurate, you're not broken. You don't have a thinking problem. You have a history of adapting. Your brain learned that awareness increased safety, and patterns that once protected you don't disappear overnight. But here's the part most people never hear. You don't need to analyze every interaction to be okay. You don't need perfect wording to deserve connection. You don't need to predict every outcome to be safe. Your mind learned this pattern when it had to. You can slowly teach it something new. And when you do, the replays get quieter. Not because you force them to stop, but because your nervous system finally feels safe enough to rest.